The richest man in fashion didn't grow up with silk sheets or Parisian luxury. In fact, he didn't even have a bed. He was just a teenager, cold and hungry, sleeping alone in the woods. No money, no education, not even a proper roof over his head. And yet, he would go on to build the most valuable luxury brand on earth, Louis Vuitton. Today, Louis Vuitton is more than a brand. It's a global symbol of wealth, power, and untouchable status. With a valuation of over $39 billion and more than 400 stores worldwide, it sits at the peak of the fashion pyramid. But what no one sees on the polished shop floors or designer runways is the jaw-dropping story of how it all began. A story of heartbreak, betrayal, war, and one of the most ruthless takeovers in fashion history. Louis Vuitton was born in 1821 in a poor village called Antche, deep in rural France. There were no paved streets, no electricity, no running water. His family lived off the land, barely. His father, a miller and farmer, scraped together a living. His mother, Corinne, made simple hats to bring in a few extra coins. There's no record that Louis ever went to school. The closest classroom was 6 miles away by foot, and every day he was needed on the family farm, laboring from sunrise to sunset. Then, tragedy hit. His mother died when he was just 10 years old. Soon after, his father remarried, and his new stepmother made life unbearable. She was manipulative, controlling, and cold. Louis fought with her constantly. And so, at just 13 years old, he made a decision that would change everything. He ran away from home in the middle of the night and began walking to Paris, alone. No food, no money, no plan, just a dream. But Paris was 225 miles away. Louis had nothing but the clothes on his back and a thin cloak to keep him warm. He walked for days, then weeks, sleeping in the woods, begging for food, and taking whatever odd jobs he could find along the way, mending roofs, carrying bricks, scrubbing floors. Most nights, he went to bed hungry. Most mornings, he woke up on cold dirt. It took him 3 years to reach the city, but when he finally arrived, Paris was a world unlike anything he'd ever seen. Bustling carriages, glittering lights, palaces, nobles. Louis managed to land a job as an apprentice box maker. These craftsmen built custom travel trunks and helped the wealthy pack and unpack them. It wasn't glamorous work, but Louis threw himself into it. He learned the art of woodwork, leather, and fabric, skills that would soon change his life. Then came a moment that no one saw coming. The Empress of France, Eugénie de Montijo, noticed his impeccable work. She appointed him as her personal box maker. Overnight, Louis went from being a penniless wanderer to working directly for royalty. But even that wasn't enough. Louis had a vision. After saving up his wages and getting married, he opened his own workshop in Paris. His goal wasn't just to make trunks, it was to reinvent them entirely. Back then, luggage was bulky and impractical. Boxes had rounded tops to deflect rain, but that made them impossible to stack. So Louis experimented with new materials. He replaced heavy leather with lightweight, waterproof canvas. He flattened the lids. Suddenly, trunks became compact, easy to stack, and elegant. He had created something the world had never seen before: practical luxury. Demand exploded. Orders came in from royals, aristocrats, and celebrities across Europe, even as far as Egypt. Within 2 years, Louis was considered a fashion innovator. His luggage wasn't just useful, it was a symbol of elite status. But just when it seemed like Louis had conquered the fashion world, disaster struck. In 1870, war erupted in France. Louis, now 49, was forced to flee his home and live in a cramped shelter with thousands of others. Food was scarce, disease was rampant. He feared for his life every single day. When the war ended and he returned to his workshop, it was in ruins. Windows smashed, equipment stolen, years of work gone in an instant. But Louis refused to quit. He used the last of his savings to rebuild his store, this time in a wealthier part of Paris, right beside a railway station and luxury hotel. It was a genius move. Travelers with money were passing by every day, and soon they were buying his trunks faster than he could make them. In 1872, Louis launched a new trunk design with beige striped canvas. It became a hit. Copycats emerged, but no one could match the quality of a real Louis Vuitton. He worked until the day he died at age 70, leaving behind not just a business, but a dynasty. His son Georges took over, and the brand exploded globally. Georges designed the now iconic LV monogram, those intertwined letters we all recognize. He also invented a revolutionary lock system that made the trunks nearly impossible to break into. Louis Vuitton was no longer just a brand, it was becoming a fortress. Then, in 1925, Georges got a call from Coco Chanel. She wanted a custom handbag. What he made for her, a small dome-shaped purse, was never meant to go public. But eventually, it did. And it launched Louis Vuitton into the world of handbags, an area the brand would soon dominate. The Alma, Speedy, and Noe bags became must-haves for the rich and fashionable. But success would come at a dark price. When World War II broke out, Georges' son Gaston was running the company. Paris fell under Nazi control. Most businesses were shut down. But somehow, Louis Vuitton stayed open. Decades later, an investigative author uncovered what the company never wanted anyone to know. Gaston had collaborated with the Nazi regime to keep his shop running.
Other brands like Chanel did the same. They claimed it was survival, but it left a permanent stain in the Vuitton legacy. After the war, the family rebuilt, but when Gaston died in 1970, management passed to his son-in-law, Henri Racamier, a man with big ideas and no nostalgia. Henri wanted to take Louis Vuitton from a respected family brand to a global empire. He launched stores in Japan, opened boutiques around the world. By the 1980s, he took the company public. Shares sold out instantly, the brand was raking in hundreds of millions. Then came the boldest move yet. He merged Louis Vuitton with Moet Hennessy, creating LVMH, the most powerful luxury conglomerate on earth. But then came betrayal. Henri invited a real estate investor to help manage the new company. His name, Bernard Arnault. Quiet, calculated, ruthless. At first, Bernard seemed like an ally, but behind the scenes, he was buying up stock. Then he turned on Henri, teaming up with Moet and Hennessy to take control of LVMH. Henri sued, he lost. Just like that, Bernard became the king of luxury. Henri quit. For the first time in nearly a century, no member of the Vuitton family had any say in the company. It was a hostile takeover straight out of a corporate thriller. After the dust settled, Louis Vuitton stumbled. Sales dropped. The brand faded from headlines. But Bernard wasn't done. He knew exactly how to bring it back, shock the fashion world. For the brand's 100th anniversary, he invited designers like Vivienne Westwood and Isaac Mizrahi to create wild new versions of the LV logo. Customers went insane. Louis Vuitton was suddenly hot again. Then came Marc Jacobs. As creative director, he introduced clothing, watches, jewelry, and a new colourful style that connected with younger audiences. His designs were fresh, bold, and risky, but they worked. Collaborations with brands like Supreme followed, even though Louis Vuitton had literally sued Supreme for copying them just years earlier. Now, LV times Supreme pieces sell for over $5,000. Some leather trunks go for $125,000 on the resale market. And counterfeiters, they're still a massive threat. Louis Vuitton loses hundreds of millions each year to fake goods. They've sued everyone from street vendors to Google itself, trying to control who profits off their name. Yet the brand only grows. Today, LVMH owns more than 70 luxury companies, and Bernard Arnault, the man who pulled off the ultimate power play, is now one of the wealthiest humans alive, with a net worth pushing $180 billion. He's been called the Wolf in Kashmir, a silent shark in the world of luxury. And it all started with a teenage runaway who slept under trees, worked with his hands, and refused to give up, even when the world tried to bury him. So, what do you think? Is Louis Vuitton truly worth the thousands it charges? Or is it just one of the most successful branding stories of all time? Drop your thoughts in the comments.